going over the solutions from exercise 4.1 from the chapter Quadratic Equations. So in the first question, they've asked us to check whether the following are quadratic equations. In the first question, they've given that x plus 1, the whole squared, is equal to 2 times x minus 3. So we will notice that x plus 1, the whole squared, is written in the form a plus b, the whole squared. We know that a plus b, the whole squared, can be written as a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. So we're going to simplify x plus 1, the whole squared, in the form of this. So when we rewrite that, we'll get x squared plus 2x plus 1 is equal to 2 times x minus 3. So we're going to multiply 2, which is outside the bracket, within the bracket. So you'll get 2x minus 6. Now we're going to bring all the terms on the right-hand side to the left-hand side. So we'll get x squared plus 2x plus 1 minus 2x plus 6 is equal to 0. Positive 2x and negative 2x will get cancelled, and we're going to add plus 1 and plus 6, which will give us plus 7, which is equal to 0. We know that a quadratic equation can be written in the form ax squared plus bx plus c, where the highest power of the equation needs to be 2. And since in the first question, when we simplify it, the highest power of the equation is 2, we can say that it is a quadratic equation. Moving on to the second question, they've given that x squared minus 2x is equal to negative 2 times 3 minus x. So using the distributive property, we're going to multiply negative 2 with 3 and negative x. So we're going to get x squared minus 2x is equal to negative 6 plus 2x, because it's a negative 2 times negative x, and minus into minus become plus. Now we're going to bring the terms on the right-hand side to the left-hand side. So we'll get x squared plus minus 2x plus 6 minus 2x is equal to 0. So x squared minus 2x will be equal to negative 4x plus 6 is equal to 0. Since this is in the form ax squared plus bx plus c, and the highest power of the equation is 2, we can say that the second question is a quadratic equation. In the third question, they've given that x minus 2 times x plus 1 is equal to x minus 1 times x plus 3. Using the distributive property, we're going to multiply x with x and then x times 1. So we're going to get x squared plus x minus 2x minus 2, which is equal to x squared plus 3x minus x minus 3. So in order to simplify the equation, we're going to bring the terms on the right-hand side to the left-hand side, and we're going to get x squared plus x minus 2x minus 2 minus x squared minus 3x plus x plus 3 is equal to 0. So x squared and negative x squared will get cancelled, and we're going to add the rest of the terms, add and subtract the rest of the terms, so you'll get x minus 2x minus 3x plus x minus 2 plus 3 is equal to 0. So x plus x will be 2x minus 5x plus 1 is equal to 0. So 2x minus 5x will give us negative 3x plus 1 is equal to 0. And since the highest power of the given equation is not 2, we can say that this is not a quadratic equation. In the fourth question, they've given x minus 3 times 2x plus 1 is equal to x times x plus 5. Using the distributive property, we're going to multiply the values inside the brackets. So we're going to get 2x squared plus x minus 6x minus 3 is equal to x squared plus 5x. We're going to bring the terms on the right-hand side to the left-hand side, so we're going to get 2x squared plus x minus 6x minus 3 minus x squared minus 5x is equal to 0. So we're going to bring the like terms together so that it'll be easier to simplify. So we're going to get 2x squared minus x squared plus x minus 6x minus 5x minus 3 is equal to 0. So we know that 2x squared minus x squared will give us x squared, and x minus 11x is minus 10x minus 3 is equal to 0. Since this is in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c and the highest power of the equation is 2, we can say that this is a quadratic equation. Moving on to the fifth question, they've given that 2x minus 1 times x minus 3 is equal to x plus 5 times x minus 1. So using the distributive property, we're going to multiply the values within the brackets. So you're going to get 2x squared minus 6x minus x plus 3 is equal to x squared minus x plus 5x minus 5. And we're going to bring the terms on the right-hand side to the left-hand side. So you're going to get 2x squared minus 6x minus x plus 3 minus x squared plus x minus 5x plus 5 is equal to 0. We're going to group together the like terms so it's easier for us to simplify. So we'll get 2x squared minus x squared minus 7x minus x plus x minus 5x plus 3 plus 5 is equal to 0. So we know that 2x squared minus x squared will be equal to x squared. Minus 7x plus x will give us minus 6x, and minus 6x minus 5x is minus 11x, plus 8 is equal to 0. Since this is in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c and the highest power of the equation is 2, we can say that this is a quadratic equation. In the sixth question, they've given that x squared plus 3x plus 1 is equal to x minus 2 the whole squared. So we'll notice that x minus 2 the whole squared is in the form a minus b the whole squared, which is equal to a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. So we're going to simplify these terms on the right-hand side in the form of this. So we're going to get x squared plus 3x plus 1, which is equal to x squared minus 4x plus 4. So we're going to bring the values on the right-hand side to the left-hand side. So we're going to get x squared plus 3x plus 1 minus x squared plus 4x minus 4, which is equal to 0. X squared and minus x squared will get cancelled, and you'll get 3x plus 4x plus 1 minus 4, which is equal to 0. 3x plus 4x, which will equal 7x, and 1 minus 4 will be negative 3, which is equal to 0. And since the highest power in this equation is not 2, we'll say that it is not a quadratic equation. In the seventh question, they've given x plus 2 the whole cube is equal to 2x times x squared minus 1. So we'll notice that this is in the form a plus b the whole cube. We know that a plus b the whole cube is equal to a cube plus b cube plus 3ab times a plus b. So we're going to simplify this into this form so it'll be easier for us to cancel. So we can write the left-hand side in the form x cubed plus 2 cubed is 8 plus 3 times x times 2 times x plus 2. which is equal to 2x times x squared minus 1. So 2x squared times x squared will give us 2x cubed minus 2x. So when we further simplify the left-hand side, you'll get x squared, x cubed, plus 8, plus 6x times x plus 2, which is equal to 2x cubed minus 2x, and we're going to bring this to the left-hand side, which will give us negative 2x cubed plus 2x, which is equal to 0. So x cubed plus 8 plus 6x times x will be 6x squared, plus 6x times 2, which will give us 12x, minus 2x cubed plus 2x, which is equal to 0. We're going to group together the like terms, so we're going to get x cubed minus 2x cubed plus 6x squared plus 12x plus 2x plus 8, which is equal to 0. So x cubed minus 2x cubed, which will give us negative x cubed plus 6x squared. 12x plus 2x will give us 14x plus 8, which is equal to 0. Since the highest power in this equation is 3 and not 2, we can say that this is not a quadratic equation. Moving on to the 8th question, they've given that x cubed minus 4x squared minus x plus 1 is equal to x minus 2, the whole cube. So we can notice that this is in the form a minus b, the whole cube, which is equal to a cubed minus b cubed minus 3ab times a minus b. So we're going to rewrite the right-hand side in this form so that it'll be easier for us to simplify. So we can say x cubed minus 4x squared minus x plus 1, which is equal to x cubed minus 8 minus 3 times x times 2, which will give us 3 times x times 2 times a, which is x minus b, which is 2. So we can further simplify this by writing it as x cubed minus 4x squared minus x plus 1, which is equal to x cubed minus 8 minus 6x times x minus 2, x cubed minus 4x squared minus x plus 1, which is equal to x cubed minus 8 minus 6x squared plus 12x. We're going to bring the terms on the right-hand side to the left-hand side, so we'll get x squared, x cubed minus 4x squared minus x plus 1 minus x cubed plus 8 plus 6x squared minus 12x, which is equal to 0. X cubed and x cubed will get cancelled. We'll be left with minus 4x squared plus 6x squared minus x minus 12x plus 1 plus 8, which is equal to 0. Minus 4x squared plus 6x squared will give us 2x squared, and negative x minus 12x will give us negative 13x. 1 plus 8, which will give us 9, which is equal to 0. And since this is in the form ax squared plus bx plus c, where the highest power is 2, we can say that this is a quadratic equation. Moving on to the second question, the first question states that the area of a rectangular plot is 528 meters squared. The length of the plot in meters is 1 more than twice its breadth. We need to form a quadratic equation in order to find the length and the breadth of the plot. So they've given that the area of the rectangular plot is 528 meters squared, and they've given that length is 1 more than twice its breadth. And we know that the area of a rectangle can be written as length into breadth. So we're going to take length as x and the breadth is as y. However, they've already given the length in terms of its breadth. So if we take the breadth as x, and we know that they've already given that the length is equal to 1 more than twice its breadth, where breadth is equal to x. So then we can say that length, which is y, is equal to 1 more than twice its breadth, which is x. And we already know that the breadth is x. So the area of the rectangle is length into breadth. So we basically need to multiply these two values in order to get 528. So when we multiply x times 1 plus 2x, we need to get 528 meters squared. So when we multiply x within the bracket, we'll get x plus 2x squared is equal to 528. So in order to rewrite this in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c, we will get 2x squared plus x, and we're going to bring this to the left-hand side, which will give us 500 minus 528, which is equal to 0, and this will be the required quadratic equation. In the second question, they've given that the product of two consecutive integers is 306, and we need to create a quadratic equation in order to find these integers. So we're going to assume that the two consecutive integers as x and x plus 1. And they've given that the product of these two integers is 306. So basically, x times x plus 1 will equal 306. So we're going to multiply x within the brackets, so we'll get x squared plus x is equal to 306. And if we bring 306 to the left-hand side, you'll get x squared plus x minus 306, which is equal to 0. And this will be the required quadratic equation. In the third question, they've given that Rohan's mother is 26 years older than him, and the product of their ages in years, 3 years from now, will be 360. We need to find Rohan's present age. So we're going to assume Rohan's age as x, and Rohan's mother's age as 26 plus x, as she's 26 years older than him. And they've given that the product of their ages 3 years from now is equal to 360. So when we need to calculate their ages 3 years from now, we just have to add 3 to their present age. So 3 years from now, Rohan will be x plus 3 years old, and Rohan's mother will be 26 plus x plus 3, which is equal to 29 plus x years old. So they've given that when we multiply their ages 3 years from now, we need to arrive at the answer 360. So the given equation that will represent these conditions will be x plus 3 times 29 plus x, which will give us 360. Now we're going to multiply the values within the brackets. So we'll get 29x plus x squared plus 3 times 29 will be 87 plus 3x minus 360, which is equal to 0, and we'll get x squared. 29x plus 3x will give us 32x And 87 minus 360 will give us negative 273, which is equal to 0, and this is the required quadratic equation. In the fourth question, they've given that a train travels at a distance of 480 kilometers at a uniform speed. If the speed had been 8 kilometers less, then it would have taken 3 hours more to cover the same distance. We need to find an equation, a quadratic equation, in order to find the speed of the train. So we're going to assume that the speed of the train be x kilometers per hour. And they've given that the total distance covered by the train is 480 kilometers. We know that the equation, which relates time, distance, and speed, is time is equal to distance over speed. So in the first case, we're going to take the speed of the train as x kilometers per hour, and the decreased speed will be x minus 8 kilometers per hour. So we're going to form two equations. We'll take the first case where the speed of the train is x as t1, or the first time taken for the speed x, which is equal to 480 by x. And the second case where the speed is x minus 8 kilometers per hour, we're going to take that as time 2, since obviously the time for both cases will differ. So t2 will equal 480 divided by x minus 8. They've given that when the speed had been 8 kilometers less, it would have taken 3 hours more to cover the same distance. This suggests that the time taken when the speed was decreased subtracted from the time taken when the speed was x kilometers per hour, it was 3 hours more. So we can equate both of these equations by saying that t2 minus t1 is equal to 3. So we're going to substitute the values where t2 is equal to 480 by x minus 8 and t1 is equal to 480 by x in this equation. So when we do that, we'll get 480 by x minus 8 minus 480 by x is equal to 3. We'll notice that the number 480 is common for both these terms. So it'll be much easier to calculate if we take 480 as common outside and multiply it within the brackets. So inside the brackets we'll get 1 by x minus 8 minus 1 by x, which is equal to 3. Now, since these are both fractions, we need to make sure that they both have the same denominator so that we can subtract them. So we'll get 480 times, we're going to cross multiply it in order that they get the same denominator. So we'll get x minus 8 by x times x minus 8, which is equal to 3. So now we'll get 480 times x minus x plus 8 by x squared minus 8x, which is equal to 3. X minus x is equal to 0, so we'll get 8 over x squared minus 8x, which is equal to 3. So since this is in multiplication, we can simply write this as 480 times 8 by x squared minus 8x, which is equal to 3. Since this is in the denominator, when we bring it over to this side, it becomes multiplication. So we'll get 480 times 8, which is equal to 3 times x squared minus 8x. So 3 times x squared will give us 3x squared, and minus 3 times 8x will give us 24x. So 480 times 8 will give us 3,840, which is equal to 3x squared minus 24x. So now we need to rewrite this in the form of a proper quadratic equation. So we'll get 3x squared minus 24x, and since we're bringing this to this side, positive becomes negative, so you'll get minus 3,840, which is equal to 0. And we can also simplify this because 24, 3, and 3,840 are multiples of 3. So when we cancel all of the numbers by 3, we'll get x squared minus 8x minus 1,280, which is equal to 0. And this is the simplified quadratic equation for this question.